everybody, Dominic Esposito, the drill instructor. Welcome to the clinic. Caught me here for a couple of seconds getting some extra last warm-ups in. I'm really glad to be with you tonight, and we're going to talk about the two most important things to understanding when you play defense, what you control. And I want to show you a clip. Many of you send me in clips, you write to me, and I've got this thing hooked up tonight. I want to actually go ahead and I'm going to start with this clip. It comes from Justin, and I'm going to play the clip. Okay, so this is what's happening. If I'm delayed for about 5 or 10 seconds, if somebody goes, where is he, or what's going on, say he's setting up a clip. Okay, because this is kind of new for me to be able to get these actually live where you can watch it. So I'm actually going to talk to you while I'm doing this because I want you to understand what it is we're actually looking at. Okay, so Justin said in this clip, and what is happening here is that he is frozen to this 5-ball. Okay, you can see this, and he's pretty tight in there, but you need to understand what the condition of the table is. Okay, I'm going to show you that in the next picture. So here's what's happening in the photo image here. He's frozen to that 5-ball that I showed you, and he's playing a game of 9-ball. Down here is the 6-ball, top of the table. And you guys know, depending on the table you're playing on, you got the old dark green ball, but you can see it down there. This is obviously a 7-foot table, which is what predominantly most league competition plays on. And then, of course, here's your 8 and your 9-ball. So I'm going to show you the clip. I'll show it to you a couple of times, and then I'll explain what Justin wrote me into. Okay, so here's the shot. If you could go ahead and watch what he's doing. You see him sitting there. He pulled off a masse, pushed the 8-ball out. Let's see if we can watch that again. Notice how far the 8-ball moves, and it really still exposes the 5-ball. So it's not technically a defensive shot. And as a matter of fact, if I freeze this here, before it actually gets to the end, you'll notice let me see if I can freeze this. I'm not sure if I actually can, because I want to talk about this for a second. Good. So let me get just a little more to this. Here we go. Now, you notice here, he does have perfect exposure for the 5-ball. Not so much that he could pocket this 5-ball, but look at the natural position with a simple quarter ball hit to a 3rd ball hit. He's got the possibility of kicking into the rail and sending this 9-ball on a flyer. Either it's going to go up in the corner, it could go up, hit 2 rails, come back down, make the 8-ball, or jam up the 8, whatever the case is. And of course, if he plays it, the cue ball is going to come flying out over here, and while he's trying to play that flyer 9-ball, the other opponent sets himself possibly up for a good scratch. But this is kind of a wreck, and one of the things that Justin did is he sent me a letter and he said, look, when I'm in a situation like this and I'm frozen to the rail, I'm frozen to the ball, I'm really not sure just exactly what it is I can do. Please give me some indication here. So let me try to get back to the screen. Make sure. Let me see, where am I? Is that it? That's where we are? Good. All right, so we'll talk about defense just a little bit tonight. 2 critical things. The 2 things that you control when you play defense is the table and your opponent. Remember that. Defense is 50% of your game. The other 50% of the game is offense. And so defense and offense both have to be in perfect balance as far as your mechanical abilities, and of course your mental game takes on an entire umbrella over the whole offense and defense. So technically you could say the mental part of your game is half and your offense and defense is half. But the fact is, these have to work together. There has to be a real synergy of how your mental game works with your offense and defense. So Justin, I'm going to go ahead and really put this on the spotlight for you and help out so that you, and as well as a whole lot of other players, really understand what you should have done, what you could have done. And of course, right after I show you that, I'm going to give you just a couple of quick ideas for some drills that can work with you. The rest of you, remember, if you order the 55 safety defense shot book, okay? The safety defense shot book gives you the complete arsenal of the most common types of defensive shots that come up consistently, and I put them in a drill format for you so that you can be working on these. You can't just shoot a defense shot cold. It's too easy to mess up. So it has to be part of your practice time. You have to do drills if you want to build great defensive skills, and from that, you have really become in control of your table and control of your opponent, because that's what defense is designed to do. So let's look right now at what we could do here. The table is set up with the scenario that Justin had, okay? I am frozen at a 5-ball, and of course what Justin chose to do is get up on top of the table and pow with a nice big masse shot. Listen, gang, when you are frozen to an object ball, okay? When you are frozen to an object ball, you are not allowed to shoot straight into that ball. Duh, I know some of you were thinking, duh, we didn't know that. You know, some people don't quite know that. But do you know why you can't shoot straight into it? Because you say, well, it's a foul. What kind of a foul? Well, just for those of you who didn't know, because all the other smarter, more advanced people know, but you didn't, when you shoot straight into a ball that's frozen, it's a double hit, because you hit the ball, you push it, and then push the cue a second time, and it's technically the foul is a double hit on the cue ball. What you need to learn to do, which is really simple, and what you can understand in almost all competitive rules, as long as you shoot across the ball, you can elevate the cue, you could keep it level, and I do believe there actually is a pool league that allows you to shoot through a ball if they're actually frozen together. You want to make sure you know your league rules so that you know that for sure. But the only time I would want to shoot into a ball a little more directly if they were frozen is if I were going to do a throw shot. And remember, for every 1 foot that the object ball moves, when you shoot across it or you shoot with applied English, you can move that object ball 1 inch for every 1 foot as it moves down the table. So that's perfect for how to do frozen throw shots. And all the throw techniques are in the advanced shots book. So many of you have that. You know you can look that up. You can look up all the frozen throw techniques. All right. So Justin, here's what I wanted to suggest. With the idea of learning how to shoot across the ball, you want to make sure you recognize what is the rule, and this is part of what I'm going to teach you as soon as I show you this shot. There's only one ball. When you focus on a defense shot, you only focus on the speed of the object ball or the speed of the cue ball. Take your pick. The speed of the cue ball or the speed of the object ball. But you don't try to play both balls. That usually will get you in trouble 99 out of 100 times. The other 1% of the time, it's when you do an ODO shot, the offense-defense option. Some of you, for slang, you call that two-way shots. But technically, you control the speed of the cue ball and the object ball with the intention of pocketing that object ball. But if it misses, you control the outcome of both. And that only happens in the rarest of cases. So for defensive skill building, you want to focus on the speed of one ball. So here's what I'm going to recommend. Looking at the alignment of this shot, I do see that the 5 ball as it was in your table, it has a half a ball of shooting into the 8 ball. So what I'm going to suggest to do, look at how perfect the opportunity is to hide behind this 9 ball, which is, Justin, what I think you were trying to hopefully accomplish, but you couldn't do it because with a masse shot, you can't control the speed of either the cue ball or the object ball. You can only control the path, which I gave you with all the masse formulas in your advanced shots book. I think you have that. But in this case, watch what I'm going to do. Obeying the rules, shooting across the ball, call for a referee, or explain to your opponent what you're going to do and confirm this is a legal shot that I can shoot across this ball. And watch what's going to happen here. The only thing I need to do is focus on the cue ball, makes enough speed to get to the rail. Boom! Look what just happened. Now right now, from this position here, I can barely see a nipping edge of the 5 ball. And that's really pretty nice. Now, if you were to shoot this with a little bit more pace, you might push the 8 ball out a little bit, and you want to make that determination. So now the cue ball is going to land on the top. So no longer are you concerned with just the speed of this cushion, but now you want to get to the speed of the top cushion. Why? Because in defense, distance is your friend. You want to always have the farthest distance from the cue ball and the flyer ball that this guy's got to try to hit. And of course, frozen to the rail could be the absolute best. So now we're going to put it on. We're going to put it on the cushion on the top of the table. And see what we did? We're back here. See how much more I pushed out the 8 ball? Okay, once again, he could barely nip that. I'm sure he can. If you want, and I'm not really a big fan of what I'm about to show you, but some of you might think, you know, what I'd really like to do is get that cue ball to move around the table a little bit more. And if you were to do that, that's where I can get in trouble. Because I can have way too much, well, I think that missed the 8 ball entirely. Probably didn't have it set up right. I don't want you to get to the point where if you overhit this ball, you are definitely going to cause a real problem up table, because the way that 6 ball is up table, you could potentially carom off of that and end up scratching. And so you really need to know, when I'm focusing on the speed of the cue ball, I'm focusing on where's it going and why is it going there. And if you put too much action into that and you have too much, look at just like basically the same thing that happened, you've got way too much of a mess. So you want to hit this with the delicate control, just like I demonstrated the first time. And so for those of you who want to practice stuff like this, here's a great drill. You can take this 5 ball from the center of the table, and what you're practicing is cue ball speed. Drill number 1, focus on the speed of the cue ball. Drill number 2, focus on the speed of the object ball. So what you might do in this case here is just see if you can practice making shots of table, find out where they go, find out how much speed you need, and then begin to take all of them into a drill format. Remember, shoot across the ball at least 30 to 45 degrees. Make sure your speed allows you to touch into the rail. And then the second drill I want you to work on is actually causing the object ball to freeze against the cushion. So this one's going to take a little bit more angle, but watch how much softer the 5 ball moves. And you see I'm moving that. You say, well, what the heck would I use one of those for? Well, you could be in a position here where the 8 and the 9 ball are in this case here, and now you find yourself frozen to this 5 ball, and what you might want to do here is actually get that 5 ball and get it to stay frozen behind the 8 and the 9 ball. Let me see if I can give you a little more of an actual, oh wow, beautiful shot response here. Here we go. Put the 5 ball right there and hide the cue ball. Still didn't hide it as well as I wanted to. And this is why we practice, people, because we have to maintain the skill and ability to control the speed of the object ball, See? There I go. And we have to maintain the speed of the cue ball. So those are the two main points that you need to work with when you're working on your drills. Now in previous shows, I showed you a lot more detail about cue ball speed drills and object ball speed drills. So work on those and then take the position, look at some of the recent defensive shots that you've either seen somebody else having to deal with or you actually had to deal with yourself. Reset them, reconsider what you may or may not have been able to do, and then go ahead and get to work and see what the case of your speed of cue ball control or your speed of object ball control. And remember, if you want to get the Safety Defensive Drills book, comes with DVD. It's about 2 hours. All the drills are demonstrated completely, going through a camera, seeing exactly where the cue ball is hit. It goes into regular speed, then there's a slow motion of it, then there's back to full speed, and each shot is carefully diagrammed and diagnosed so that you can know precisely how and why to put that shot together. So thank you, Justin. Thank you, everybody, for the letters and the videos that you guys do send me. And again, as I see others that I can use to actually teach you from, I will do that. So God bless you. Aim straight, shoot straight, split the pockets. Hey, get to the website. I have continued to leave all the training packages, the offensive package, the defensive package. These are still on, I think, half off on the webpage, to really be working with you as your whole new season is really starting to kick off. Okay, love you guys. God bless you. Bye-bye.